Hare Krishna. I've been asked to speak today on the topic of Srila Prabhupada's arrival in Boston in 1965. This is the anniversary day of that, so 65, 49 years. Some of you were on the planet at that time in this body, or similar body. But they named America after, was it Americo Vespucci? One of the, was it Portuguese or the Spanish? Yeah, they named, the whole country they named after that. So maybe they'll have to change the name. Because Prabhupada's coming over on the Jaladuta. The ship was called Jaladuta. His arrival is so momentous, so important. Otherwise, it's a big plot of land, but there has to be the aim of life, the goal. What is the purpose? Prema Pamartha Mahan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the purpose of life is to develop love for Krishna. There is, in the Chaitanya Mangal, by Lochandas Thakur, he describes a incident that took place in Goloka Vrindavan. And Lord Chaitanya is there, of course. In the Goloka Vrindavan, Lord Chaitanya also has his place there, and there's Vrindavan, and there's Mathura, and there's Dwarka. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's avatari. He's not an incarnation, he's the source of the incarnations. He's Krishna, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana, appearing in his devotional form. Someone asked him the question, my dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, you preached in India, you delivered everyone. What about the rest of the world? He said, yes, I will be sending my Senapati Bhakta to go all over the world and save all the other fallen souls. So Prabhupada went all over the world many times, and he didn't claim credit, but his credit was that he just presented the message as it is. And that's a great accomplishment, just to present Krishna as he is, to not distort Krishna. It's not so easy to understand Krishna. To understand Krishna, one has to be a pure devotee. Bhaktya mama vijanati yavanyas-chasmi tatvataha. By pure devotional service, Krishna can be known. So I thought it would be fitting to look at the poem that Prabhupada wrote two things, here in Boston, when he first arrived. So let's look at those. Very nice. The Jaladuta was a ship from the Scindia steamship line. The story is that Prabhupada was 70 years old. He had taken sannyas some years before. He was initiated by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in 1933. He met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, his spiritual master, in 1922. Then in the 1950s he became a Vanaprastha. Prabhupada retired from his business and family life and moved to Vrindavan. And soon after that, he began writing, translating and giving commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Purana. Srila Prabhupada only asked his spiritual master 2 questions. When he first took initiation, he asked, "What should I do? How can I serve you?" And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta told him, Bhaktisiddhanta told him in the very first meeting, you should preach Krishna consciousness, Lord Chaitanya's message in English. So Prabhupada was preparing how to fulfill that order, because the order of the spiritual master is the life and soul of the devotee, of the disciple. He just fixes his mind on that order, that instruction, and everything, his whole life then takes shape around that. So Prabhupada was given the name Abhay Charanaravinda. From his birth, his father named him Abhay Charan. And Bhaktisiddhanta liked that name and added Aravinda. So at the lotus feet of the Lord, whose lotus feet are fearless, one becomes fearless at the lotus feet of the Lord. Abhay Charanaravinda, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta. Bhakti means love and devotion to Krishna. And Vedanta means the ultimate conclusion of all knowledge. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada is a title that is given to the spiritual master, basically of the whole world, the Vaishnava spiritual master. It was given to Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Jiva Goswami, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Prabhupada, because he became the primary acharya or teacher for the Vaishnavas around the world. So I'm just now looking for that. So Prabhupada, he wanted to go to the West, and generally when people think of going to the West from India at that time, they think of going to England because they're formerly related to England so intimately. But Prabhupada thought that better I go to America, because America was the leading country at the time. And he thought that if the Americans take it, Krishna consciousness, then the whole world will take it. Because people are interested to follow the leading place, leading leading in economic development, and leading in sense gratification. Those are the primary areas of leadership. So, but he didn't have money to go. But he did print his books. He managed to raise funds for 3 volumes of his first 3 volumes of books he printed when he was in India. And he had 200 copies of each. I know because when I joined in 1970, I was told that I got the last set. They gave me the last set when I joined. So, he had his books, but he didn't have passage fare to go to America. So, a lady, a very wealthy business lady, and she was also known as a Vaishnavi. She was a great devotee of Krishna. Sumati Morarji. Her office was in Bombay. She was the owner of Scindia Steamship Line. So he went and sat on her on the steps outside, and he told him he would like to see her. So she was very pious, so she said, okay, he'd invite the Swami to come and see me. So Prabhupada came in, and he said, I want to go to America. She said, you're too old to go to America. You'll just die there. I'm not going to send you to die in America. He asked her, please give me passage on your ship. She said, I can't do that. If I do that, I'll be responsible. He said, I'm not going to die there. And anyway, you should fulfill the request of an old man. So he used his charm. And she agreed. So she said, okay, you can go. On the steamship line, Jaladuta. It's a cargo ship. And he had round trip. She gave him round trip ticket. There was one place on the ship for a passenger. But on the way over, he suffered 2 heart attacks. Maybe you can try to see if you can find it. It's in here somewhere. So he suffered 2 heart attacks, and he felt that if he underwent a third, he would not be able to survive. But Krishna appeared to him in the dream, and Krishna was rowing the boat and saying, don't worry, everything will be all right. So he came, and he arrived in Boston. And what was his mission? His mission was to give Krishna consciousness. You found it? Okay. Thank you. That's not it. He came to give the same message that Lord Chaitanya brought. And the message was, chant Hare Krishna, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalo nasteva gatiranyata. That in the age of Kali, there's no other process of self-realization other than chanting. Does anyone know any other process? Meditation? No. Chanting the holy names of the Lord, that is the process for the age of Kali. Tad Hari Kirtanam. In the Satya Yuga, process was Krite Jayato Vishnu, meditation. Then Tretayam Yajatam Lakai. In Treta Yuga, process was sacrifices. Then Dwapara Yuga, deity worship, temple worship. And Kali Yuga, chanting the holy names of the Lord. Especially the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And he came with his books. In fact, he sold his first set of books to Captain Pandya, who was the captain of the ship. That was, other than that money that he got from selling those books, the only money he had was 40 rupees. But as you may know, rupees you can't use rupees in New York or in America. At that time, there was about 5 or 6 rupees per dollar, so a few dollars. That's all he had. And he never met the person that was coming to pick him up. So he didn't know anyone here. He had no sponsorship. Find it? But he had faith in presenting Krishna consciousness as it is. And his idea was, I will present it. He was thinking he would stay in America for maybe a few months. He requested, thank you. Okay. So we found, this is a prayer that he wrote while he was on the ship coming over. This one was written on September 13th, 1965. Krishna Taba Punya Habe Bai E Punya Koribe Jabe Radharani Kusi Habe Dhruva Ati Boli Toma Dai. I emphatically say to you, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you. When Prabhupada was a young child, his father, Gaur Mohan Dey, was a great devotee also. And he used to invite saintly persons to his home, at least 4 every day. And he would ask them all, please bless my son that he becomes a great devotee of Srimati Radharani. So all the saintly persons would give their blessings. So if you have children, you can do that also. Ask the saintly persons, please to bless your children, that they become devotees of Srimati Radharani. Is that a good request?
Yes.
To ask the sadhus? Or should we ask them, please give the blessings that he'll pass his exam and become a wealthy... No. No, everyone wants that. Everyone wants that kind of blessing. But we can get better blessings from saintly persons. Let me become a devotee of Radharani. Let my children become devotees of Radharani. So Prabhupada here is encouraging all of us to get the blessings of Srimati Radharani. Then he writes, Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Shachi Sutta Priya Ati Krishna Sebaya Jara Tula Nai Se Mohanta Guru Jagater Madhe Uru Krishna Bhakti De Tai Tai. Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Shachi, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. He is that great saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world. I remember once Prabhupada came to Portland, Oregon, and we arranged for him to speak at a television program. So we went there, but there was some miscommunication, and they weren't ready to receive him. But instead there was a young man who had in the same building, he had a radio station. And he said, I would like to have the Swami come on my show and I would interview him for radio. So we asked Prabhupada, he said yes. So we went into the little radio studio, and the young man was very interested. And in the course of the interview, he asked Prabhupada, so what is the reason you come? And Prabhupada said to teach the people what they've forgotten, to give them love of God, to deliver them back to Godhead. The young man, his eyes became very big. He said, does that mean that you're the Messiah? Prabhupada said, yes. He said, well, who sent you? He said, my Guru Maharaj sent me, my spiritual master. And we can see that. He never claimed to be directly a devotee of Krishna, but servant of the servant, Gopi Bhartur Padakamalaya Dasa Dasa Dasa. Servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. So, you see, he never forgets that I am the servant of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That's my identity. And that's his success. That's the success. Next. Tara icha balavan paschete tan tan. Hoy jate gorangir nam. Pritivite nagaradi asamudra nadi. Sakale loy Krishna nam. By his, Bhaktisiddhanta's strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world. In all the cities, towns, and villages on the earth, from all the oceans, seas, rivers, and streams, everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna. Haribol! That's happening. Pritiviti, Lord Chaitanya predicted. Pritiviti yachyata nagaradigram sarvatra prachoy hoivi morana. As many towns and villages as there are on the face of the earth, my names, the names of Krishna, will be chanted. It's happening everywhere. Can you think of any place that chanting is not going on? No. Practically every country. I don't know of any countries that doesn't have chanting going on. Hare Krishna chanting. Even Eskimos are chanting in the Arctic Circle, where some devotees are distributing literature. Russia, tens of thousands are chanting. China, they're chanting. Everywhere. Tahale ananda hoy, tabe hoy digvijoy. Chaitanya kripa atishai. Maya dushta jata dukhi, jagate sabai sukhi, Vaishnaver icha purna hoy. As the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all directions, a flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. When all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnava's desire is then fulfilled. See how pure. Generally people go to foreign countries to make money or to get something for sense gratification. And Prabhupada said that before him, many Indians came to the West, especially America, but their idea was to get something, not to give. But he came just to give Krishna Bhakti. He didn't want money, he didn't want degrees or education or anything. He wanted to give them love of Krishna. Therefore he said, India has been known as a beggar country, but I'm not coming to beg, I'm giving. India has the greatest culture, the Krishna culture, the Rama culture. Varta bhumite hoila manusha janma jar, janma sartak kari kara parupakar. Lord Chaitanya said, those who've taken their birth in the land of Bharatvarsha should make their lives perfect and then do the best service to the world by giving that Krishna consciousness to others. Generally, in India, it was considered by many people, by sannyasis and things, that a sannyasi is not supposed to go across the sea. If he goes across the ocean, it was thought, he becomes contaminated because he's going to the land of the Malechas. And that's correct. But that's for the lesser sannyasis, not for the Jagat Guru, not for the Acharya. He can go. Vaishnav Acharya can go, and he won't be contaminated, but rather he'll purify. So Prabhupada, they tried to teach Prabhupada how to use knife and fork for eating. Before he went, they said, when you go to the West, you have to eat with knife and fork. He said, I'm not going there to learn how to live like them. I'm going there to teach them how to forget all the things they've learned. What a bold approach. He came here to teach us how to forget our materialistic ways. Imagine, no money, no backing, no organization. And he's coming here at the age of 70 with 2 heart attacks. And he's coming here to start a movement. Se karya je koribare agya jadi dilo more. Yogya nahi an dinahina. Tai se tumara kripa magitechi anurupa. Aji numi sabar pravina. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I am begging for your mercy so that I may become worthy, for you are the wisest and most experienced of all. This is a feeling of a Vaishnava, that he's completely helpless. He has no strength, no intelligence, unqualified. And it's true, even though a Vaishnava is empowered by the Lord, and he can do amazing things, but he knows that it's only by the Lord's mercy. It's like Arjuna. When Arjuna was on the battlefield and Krishna was driving his chariot, Arjuna defeated the greatest warriors on the planet. And then, after Krishna's departure, he lost his strength. He couldn't even defend Krishna's queens. And he marveled, how is it? I was able to defeat everyone. They couldn't touch a hair on my head. But now I'm defeated. So it's due to the empowerment. So when Krishna empowers someone, Krishna Shakti Vininahi Tara Pravartana, Krishna empowers someone, then he can spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Otherwise, it's not possible. It's not a material thing. Tomara se shakti pele, Guru sebaya bastu mile, Jivana sartak jadi hoy. Se seva paile, tahale sukhi hole, Tava sangha bhagyate miloy. If you bestow your power by serving the spiritual master, one attains the absolute truth. One's life becomes successful. If that service is obtained, then one becomes happy and gets your association due to good fortune. And now he's quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam. Evam janam nipatitam prabhava kupe kama bikamam anuyak prapatan prasangha kritvad masat Surarshina Bhagavan Grihita Soham Katam Navasvijay Tava Britya Sevam. This is Prahlad Maharaj praying to Lord Nrsingadev. He prays, "My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narad Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service?" Tumi mor chirasati bulia mayar lati kayachi janma janmantare aji puna e sujoga jadi hoy joga joga tabe pari tuhu milibare. O Lord Krishna, you are my eternal companion. Forgetting you, I have suffered the kicks of Maya birth after birth. If today the chance to meet you occurs again, then I will surely be able to rejoin you. Tomara milane bhai abar se sukapai Gocharane guri din por Katabane chuta chuti bane kai hutaputi alutaputi se din kabe habe more. O dear friend, in your company I will experience great joy once again. In the early morning I will wander about the cowherd pastures and fields, running and frolicking in the many forests of Raja. I will roll on the ground in spiritual ecstasy. Oh, when will that day be mine? Ajise subidhane tomara smarana bhela baro asha dakilam atai ami tomara nitya das tai kori eta ash Tumi bina anya gati nai. Today that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way. Because I have a great longing, I call to you. I am your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Lord Krishna, except for you there is no other means of success. So that's the poem that he wrote a few days before arriving here. He was on the ship. That was his meditation. So tomorrow we're going to the actual place where Prabhupada came in, Commonwealth Pier. It's fitting that our temple should also be on Commonwealth Avenue, because Prabhupada arrived at Commonwealth Pier. What time are we going there tomorrow? 9:45. 9:45, so please join us. Take off a day's work and be with us to commemorate that, and we'll be discussing another poem that Prabhupada wrote on that day. So thank you for your attention. Are there any questions or comments about this historic event, its significance? How important is it that Prabhupada came to America? Anyone think it's important? Hmm?
How important is the Prabhupada came to America?
I'm saying how important, yes. Is the greatest event that's ever happened in America. I say that. Greater than Washington's coming or Lincoln's so-called liberation of the races. What is the liberation? As long as you're in material body and in material consciousness, you have to take birth again. Birth after birth. So where's the liberation? We came here for religious freedom. That's one thing that Prabhupada did. He gave a lot of credit to America. He said, America gave me everything. Gave me men and money. With that men and money, and they gave him freedom and encouragement even. They kept extending his visa. Oh, what event in American history is more significant than Prabhupada's coming? Saving us all from the cycle of birth and death. Giving us the opportunity to get out of this cycle of birth and death. Someone can make a few comments? Some of the senior devotees can make some comments. Okay. So, what's the schedule now? What's the program? Arti now. Okay. Thank you very much. His Divine Grace, Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Sutta Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.